Now, most tourists who've been to North America will have probably been to the Mojave Desert if you visited the gambler's paradise, Las Vegas. But the Mojave is huge. It encompasses 4 states and has an area of around 57,000 square kilometers. That's roughly the size of Croatia. But this is Mojave town, with a population of around 4,000 residents who are gambling on a very different industry. Welcome to Mojave, home to America's first civilian spaceport and the crossroads to the future. On an average day, this is a quiet town, unless there's a test or launch. This is where Spaceship One, designed by Burt Rutan, completed the first privately funded human spaceflight in 2004. It went on to win the $10 million X Prize. Burt's company Scaled Composites has been bought out and joined forces with Virgin Galactic. Now more than 250 people are reported to have handed over $200,000 each for a 2.5-hour spaceflight in 2010. But it has many rivals.
But we do unique things here. There's high-speed flight, there's space flights, there's rocket flights, there's experimental aircraft flights. We call it the field of dreams. If you have a dream, we'll figure out some way you can come here and you can test it and see if it works.
Burt's brother Dick was a chief test pilot for the Easy rocket, and in 2005 he set the world record, flying the longest distance in a ground-launched, rocket-powered aircraft.
What was really interesting is to try to convert this little airplane that began its life with a propeller and a gasoline engine. And then we put a rocket motor with liquid oxygen and alcohol, and the cockpit's all different. And it was really kind of a flying test bed to determine that we can fly rocket-powered airplanes and we can do it safely and routinely.
Dick's test flights helped pave the way for X-Corps' latest project, the Lynx, a 2-seater mini-ship designed to take you to the edge of space by 2010.
2, 1. So it'll be like being in the longest roller coaster climb you've ever been on. But when you're out in space, you will have this view up above, out front, to this side. You can look over the pilot and see what's on the left side. We regard this as one of the best advantages of flying the Lynx over some of the competitors.
How much is this going to cost?
But actually, we're looking at a price of somewhat below $100,000. And the thing that's important is to know that, especially if there's more than one company flying, competition is going to cause the prices to go lower.
Many of these space tourism startups are based in Mojave because there's literally nothing else here. This is a test of the Sea-Star Sustainer engine. 8 of these will propel a satellite launch vehicle to orbit in 2009. This rocket serves as a technology testbed for a space tourism vehicle, set to take holidaymakers to outer space for a week. This is possibly the most ambitious operation here in Mojave.
So Carmen, if you go to space, this is what you'll ride in within our orbital systems with 5 other people, 6 people total in this. Well, you'll be wearing a spacesuit. You'll disembark through that central portal that's going to take you to a gloriously huge living space. That was on the way up, the pressurant gas container for the rocket. That's now empty, and that becomes your on-orbit habitat, an orbiting hotel, or an orbitel, as we like to call it.
Wow.
Okay, you can wend your way through the seats.
As its name suggests, Interorbital plans to take paying passengers on an interplanetary flight, unlike its competitors, who are mostly planning suborbital flights to kiss the edge of space for a few minutes or hours. To fund their dream, Randa and her husband Roderick use a bit of their Hollywood clout.
We do sound effects for Hollywood movies. The movie Serenity and War of the Worlds used rocket engines that we designed specifically to give a certain type of effect. We're actors, we're both academics, we teach at universities. So there are a lot of different ways to do this. I kind of liken it to a no-budget film. You know, somehow those films get done.
A week's space vacation will cost $5 million, but the first 10 Neptune passengers will get a promotional fare of $250,000. If space flights like this take off, prices could plummet even further, making it accessible for millions more travelers. While the next frontier of rocket-powered jets and space vehicles are dreamed of and made here, beyond the flight line, you can see the dying days of commercial flight as we know it. This is the Boneyard, a storage area for decommissioned passenger jets. It's a stark reminder that it wasn't so long ago that commercial flights were still relatively new and considered uncharted territory.